Vertebrate innate immune system. Animals have many ways to protect their bodies from pathogens, which are harmful parasites, protozoa, fungi, bacteria, viruses, and prions. While some may cause disease and induce immune responses, most do not make humans sick. And here's some pictures of these things. None of them are very good looking, are they? Animal immune systems have cells that carry out surveillance. They are always inspecting the body and identifying structures that are self and non-self. All structures that are part of the normal body are perceived as self. It's an example here, and ignored by the immune system, while foreign structures are perceived as non-self and are targeted for destruction. So this cartoon shows the two types where we have self over here, and then over here is non-self. Non-self structures are called antigens, structures that cause an immune response. An antigen is usually a small piece of a protein, carbohydrate, or nucleic acid that has a three-dimensional shape that could possibly harm the body. And here it is. The antigens are the spikes here on this pathogen. The vertebrate immune system is made up of barriers, circulating cells, and the molecules they produce to kill pathogens that invade the body. There's two branches, the innate immune system. Vertebrates are born with this first level of protection against pathogens, and it includes physical and chemical barriers. It acts very fast and recognizes common antigens, but is not very specific. The adaptive immune system. This branch is slower to respond, but very specific for a particular pathogen, and provides long-lasting immunological memory of the pathogen. The innate and adaptive branches of the immune system work together. Only the adaptive branch of the immune system has cells that remember specific pathogens that they've encountered before. The vertebrate adaptive immune system has enough genetic diversity to respond to an infinite number of antigens, even those that have never existed before. It will respond to almost anything that is not a normal molecular structure in the body, and, key phrase here, it can adapt to new infections. Let's start at the beginning of the immune defense, barrier defenses. The first line of defense against pathogen invasion is anatomical. Non-specific physical and chemical actions known as barrier defenses. We start with physical barriers, such as skin, mucus, wax, and oils that prevent entry into tissues. They are nonspecific. They don't recognize pathogens. We have chemicals and molecules being released by these barrier cells, such as enzymes in saliva and tears, and stomach acids. They destroy the membranes of pathogens. These chemicals have little specificity to target pathogens. Then we have innate behaviors that remove foreign bodies. That includes coughing, sneezing, and vomiting. These behaviors have limited specificity to target pathogens. If a pathogen makes it past the physical and chemical nonspecific barriers, cells of the innate immune system go to work. Innate system white blood cells recognize very common non-self antigens that are found on wide varieties of pathogens. Most of them have receptors on their surfaces that bind to common pathogenic antigens, and they kill pathogens by phagocytosis or by releasing toxic chemicals. This image shows small bacterial cells, these yellow things here, bound to the surface of a roughly membrane of a white blood cell. The white blood cell will phagocytose the bacteria, a first step in innate immunity. Some white blood cells are phagocytic cells, such as neutrophils and macrophages. Cell surface receptors on phagocytic cells bind to a broad range of bacterial structures. They engulf the bacteria and other cell debris and digest them with lysosomal enzymes. These cells also bring other white blood cells into the fight by releasing inflammatory molecules and cytokines, which are white blood cell signaling proteins. Neutrophils make up 40 to 60% of a person's white blood cells. They are ready to kill anything that has bacterial antigens. Neutrophils are the first responders. Natural killer, or NK cells, recognize virus-infected cells and abnormal cancer cells. They kill these infected cells by destroying their membranes with chemical bursts. Macrophages and dendritic cells are special phagocytes that are bridges between the innate and adaptive immune response. They are antigen-presenting cells, abbreviated as APC. After APCs engulf and digest pathogens, they display pieces of the foreign antigens in molecular cups on their surfaces. White blood cells of the adaptive immune response, and again, we haven't quite gotten to that yet, recognize these foreign antigens on the surface of APC and go to work. Here's the pathogens, here's the APC, and here's the adaptive immune system seeing this happen. Inflammation, that is heat, redness, swelling, and pain, is also brought about by neutrophils and macrophages and is a normal part of an immune response. These are signs that the immune system is at work. Inflammation also helps to activate the adaptive immune system, but it can be a problem if it lasts too long. Unfortunately, chronic, that is long-lasting, inflammation can cause diseases such as gout, shown over here, and atherosclerosis, a type of heart disease.